If he were to lose again, what would that mean to you?
We better buy some more guns, ammunition, because we got what's coming over the border right now is pretty bad. So we got criminals running the show. George Soros, he's got to go. His son's got to go.
What would it mean for MAGA?
It would demolish it. It would destroy it. There is no other like Trump, and that's why they're trying to kill him.
Everybody perceives the Republican Party as these big bad people. We're not. We're going to accept it, and we're going to be cordial about it. You know.
Well, just because last time it didn't happen, so that's why people are asking.
Sure. I don't want to discuss that last presidential running. I just don't feel like things went the way it should have.
If Trump were to lose, what happens to MAGA?
They're going to still be here, hoping for the next time.
Who would be the person they'd hope for?
Maybe J.D. Vance.
I like that last guy's response. We're hoping for that. You know what? We lose sometimes. Maybe we win next time. That is a healthy way to respond to the possibility that your party will lose. The earlier woman had implied a healthy way of we'll accept it. But when you refuse to accept the last one, you don't have a great track record on that necessarily. But Michael, I'm interested in were there other responses about who might take the reins following Trump? I would have imagined JD Vance's stock would have dropped, but they do seem to like the eating dog stuff that JD Vance is pushing. So maybe he's more popular among MAGA than I would think.
You know, there isn't the depth of sort of perspective about who the Republican bench is, right? These people are all about Trump, and that's why MAGA is different than the Republican Party, right? And so when you ask them who's going to take up, you know, it's why J.D. Vance was selected, probably mistakenly, but I don't think it'll end up mattering. I think J.D. Vance was looked at as a person who could articulate and sort of bamboozle these people going forward, somebody to take the baton from Donald Trump and run with it and still keep MAGA together through charisma and through having succeeded in the public sphere in something other than just politics. But it's not working out that way. Some of them even said Trump, well, yeah, he's 82, but look how sharp he is now, you know, and he'd be 82, but let's look how sharp he is now. Well, that's another conversation entirely. Most of them think that MAGA is going to stick together. Why wouldn't they think that? Because they're here with tens of thousands of them standing outside a stadium in North Carolina. But I don't believe that. I believe most of them are there for Trump. I don't think that if a regular Republican candidate, bureaucrat, a conservative, what have you, were to be the nominee, that they would get this kind of fire.
Yeah.
Also incredulous over the fact that Trump could lose because of how big his crowds are. And that to them, there's an even correlation. If you have big crowds, that means you're going to win. They didn't care that the vice president had huge crowds in Madison the night before. They think because Biden didn't have crowds, he couldn't possibly have won. And that's why Trump talks about crowds a lot too.
I think it's a pretty strong predictor. It's not as strong as the size of your boat parades. I think that's a perfect predictor.
That is a
presidential support. Right. Super fast because we have almost no. Did anyone mention Tucker Carlson?
You know, I believe his name may have come up. I don't recall because I talked about Tucker Carlson that day. It may have been with Zeffrey, who we should mention shoots all that stuff and edits it so well. I don't honestly recall. His name certainly has come up. I don't know if it came up the other day though.
Okay, interesting. Well, thank you for doing that on the ground reporting. Very fascinating. Some of the video is what I would sort of expect, but there were also people who I think were a little bit more reasonable, including that last gentleman. By the way, I just want to read one comment before we end. C. Small says, I profoundly miss Michael Shure as a central figure on TYT. It's always nice to see him make these small appearances. Well, he does a lot, but yes, I like having you in studio more. Hopefully we can get some more of that as the election proceeds.
I would love that. And thank you. That's really kind.
And thank you for being here.
Okay. Good to be here, always.
When you click the join button and become a tier 2 member, you get access to all of our weekly top 10 lists. What are you waiting for?